Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this one I'm going to compare Universal Audio's anti-1992 high gain amp in a pedal to a real PEAVEY 5150 black leather from 1992. I'm trying to keep this as much as apples to apples as possible. So the signal chain is guitar. This is ESP M1 Custom from 1987 with EMG 85 and SA pickups. Then the signal goes to Radial's ABI box. Out from the B it goes to a real tube screamer, then into a real noise gate, then into a real amplifier. From the amps out it goes to Fryet's power station, which I'm using only as an reactive load now. From the Fryet it goes to one of the inputs of my Apollo X8. So no speaker so far, we're gonna get into that. Output number A, it goes into the anti, and there is a digital tube screamer, digital noise gate, digital amp. Output from the anti goes into one of the inputs of my audio interface. Both of those inputs goes to Neural DSP's Soldano plugin, but I'm only using the cabinet. I think it's a V30 based cabinet, and there's one SM57 aimed, pretty much directly to the edge of a dust cap. Cool. So both amplifiers, same cabinet, because as you probably know, the cabinet it's responsible for 70-80% of the tone. So that's why this, because I don't have that specific cabinet there, even though there is UK V30. I have a Marshall vintage cabinet which has the Marshall vintage UK V30s, but it's a different cabinet. I tried it, they sounded pretty close, but they weren't the same like this one. So now they both go into a same cabinet. No post EQ, no nothing. Then there's a virtual out or several virtual outputs. Virtual output number 1 from the Neural DSP plugin goes to virtual input number 1 of my UAD audio interface. Then I'm recording the virtual input 1 in Pro Tools. Great, okay, let's start. I'm gonna play some CYHRA stuff. This is in standard C, the guitar, and I'm not gonna tell which one I'm using. I'm gonna tell it afterwards, and then we're gonna discuss about these, how similar they are and what are the differences, if there is any. They sound pretty close, right? So the first one, that was a UAD. The second one was 5150, and then I switched back and forth. I already forgot in which order, but this is the UAD. This is the real 5150. They're really similar, and they probably modeled this after a specific 5150 or then just capturing a general 5150, because every tube amp is different. If I would have to 1992 plug letters here, they wouldn't sound exactly the same. That's just the way it is. Every speaker is different, every cabinet is different. Everything that is analog, man-made, is different. Anything digital, like if you buy an anti and if you buy an anti from somewhere else, it's exactly the same because it's digital. So the first difference, what I noticed, because I did a video of this focusing only on the anti, I was just like, wow, it's 5150, but now when I do the comparison, I feel the feel is a little bit different. The 5150 feels more, it's hard to describe, it just feels differently. This is actually a little bit like sharper and faster the feel, which has never been the case, but I guess now the technology has gone leaps forward, so I don't really feel there's no latency, or I mean there is, but it's not meaningful. Rather it feels that this is kind of really fast, like oof, but the amp kind of, you know, bends because it's analog. It's tiny bit more pleasant to play, the real amp. This is real amp, this is UAD. Real amp. It just feels, and this is because I have always played with tube amps ever since I was a kid, so I started to play in '89, and that's just what I'm so used to, that feel. But if you've never played with a tube amp, you might feel completely different than me. You might feel that the digital, it's easier to play than a tube amp, but you know, I feel that the tube amp, it's just a little bit more pleasant. So that's one thing. Then the other thing is that this has a bit more kind of that upper, like I'm not gonna say digital stuff, but I'm gonna say, listen, this is real 5150. This is the plugin. There's it, but I'm pretty sure it's not digital, it's just how this amp is, because the controls are pretty much the same on both. So the bass is 6, the bass is, it's actually here above 6 there, mids 4, treble, it's here after 6, here above 6, this is actually here below 6, so this is a little bit brighter in general. But that difference would be in case of real amps too. Some amps are just brighter, like my two 800 from the 80s. The bad boy is just a little bit brighter and meaner than the little brother, but they're exactly pretty much the same amps, JJM 223s. The presence is 8 on the real one and 6 or 7, you know, 1 o'clock on this one. And the gain is 3 on both. Gain-wise, these are quite similar. The resonance, which is behind these alternatives, it's 5 on both. So noon here, noon on this one too. And yet, well, the gain is just, you know, that it's, well, actually it could be a little bit tighter. It's a bit opening because the gate on real gate, this is completely silent, but the 40 Zool is an awesome gate. So those are the kind of the differences in the context of a mix. Someone could tell the difference in the dense metal mix, which one is real, which one is plug-in, which one is digital version. Somebody actually honestly can tell that. I promise to show the world Elton John's wife. digital. Analog. Well, now when I play this for a while, the difference is, it's honestly, it's not meaningful. It's the same difference than it will be with between different three real amps. Some amps just react a little bit differently. It could be the value of the components, the tubes, and whatnot. Okay, let's play some drop riffs and see. That was real, then digital. This amplifier, it's just a little bit more nastier on the upper mids. I'd say around somewhere like 4K. It has a little bit more, almost like a HARDTONES kind of style. Or then it's the tube screamer there. What I'm using, the model is just a little bit brighter sounding than mine. But I've set the tube screamer the same, level maxed, tone 1 o'clock, gate fairly open. Conclusion. I think with these new UAD's pedals, the Plexi, which I have, which I love, Neural DSP's plugins, they are absolutely fantastic. I think honestly we're in a time and age where it's not anymore a question that whether I use analog amp or plug-in. It's just that whether I use this amp, which happens to be really big, or whether I use this amp, which happens to be smaller and a tiny bit brighter. Same goes with the best plugins. It's not a question. We're living in amazing times, and me saying this coming from a guy that's been using tube amps always. That should tell you something. Hey, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. All the best. Bye.